Hey Casher, Derek here, Baker 6 Clan. We are in the new workshop and we are going to be getting our build on. Are you ready? Let's get started. Alright, so I am super excited to be in here in the workshop today. I'm so excited that it's done and I'm ready to get this build going. And really what we're going to be doing today is that we're going to be taking the Smart Cache components, which I've already kind of hardwired it into this component right now, already ready to go into the box itself. But I got to finish up the box that we did the designs in the last video. And so what I'm going to be doing is taking this hardwired that I've already done, and there is still some wiring to do once I put it in because I have some of the buttons and the latch has to come up through the PVC board. But this is ready to go. So let's start getting our measurements and getting those cuts ready for the components to start going in. All right, so now I have the shelf cut out, and this works really great because I end up taking off probably about a ½ inch right off the front of it, so that when I put it into the container itself, the batteries that the finder's gonna have to bring and the buttons will clear the door, so you don't have that aspect of it there. So, and that just fits in just really nicely in here. Now what I need to do is glue it in place and get ready to create the container down below. Oh, but before I glue it in place, why don't I go ahead and put the hole in here for the latch to go up. So I gotta do that next. So latch first, and then it's gonna get glued in place. Okay, so now I've got that shelf into place, and as I let the PVC glue dry, I know that this space down here where the logbook and everything is going to go is 6 inches. So now I need to go get the plexiglass and cut and get that all ready to go to slip inside with the latch. So let's do that step next. All right, so now I have all of the plexi cut and ready to go. And what I'm going to use is going to be using my acrylic weld, and this will weld it in place, and I'll have it ready for the latch. Now I'm going to be testing the latch before it goes into the box. So, but first we got to build the smaller box to go in below. So let's get that built. All right, so I've got the plexi clamped, and I got that clamped right here. And as that is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and get the measurements on the box on the top, so I can go ahead and start making the door that's gonna go up there at top. So I've got my PVC board. Now let's take it to the saw and get it cut. All right, so one of the great things about having this really great workbench now is that I can work up here, and that acrylic is all drying back there in the back. So that's just something that's really great. I love that. So, but this entire build we've been talking about from the entire project, not just the build, but we've been talking about cache maintenance and how I want this to be really easily and accessible, especially to be able to get into the electronics up here because of changing batteries, and if there was an issue changing the volume or anything like that, to be able to get in there pretty easily. Now what the solution that I came up with is I'm going to be using this barrel lock, and this barrel lock is really great. So it's going to come in here and sit up here in the top, and when this comes down, you'll be able to get clear access to the electronics that's going to be mounted here on the door, and the speaker will be in here, and the latch will all be ready to go in here as well. So this next step that I need to do is that I'm going to go ahead to put in the barrel lock into this, so that's ready to go, because that's going to help with the placement of the rest of the components when I'm putting it in there. All right, so now let's go ahead and get the barrel lock mounted. All right, so now we've got that barrel lock in there, and that's not all that we got in there now. So when I open it up, all right, so there's the components that I've already pre-wired, and those are in here nicely. So that just looks really great. The battery's in here for the fire off the latch and all these other components. Now what I need to do is go back in, and of course I still have to put the batteries on the outside of the box, but then I also have to go ahead and wire the LEDs in place, and then also put the buttons ready to go in place here as well. So that's the next step, is I got to put the holes in here. But now that I know the placement of where my components are, it's going to make it a lot easier, and I should be able to fly through this part of it. So let's put those holes in place and get the buttons and the battery on the front, and then we'll finish up the wiring on the inside. All right, so now it's all wired, it's all together, it's all pretty. I mean, look at this. It's just such a really clean look that is on this cache. I just really do like this. Now, all I need to do is put in this last battery, and it's gonna activate. Now, I'm gonna kind of rush through this part of it so you can see how the latch opens, and I'll show you the inside of it once again. But let's go ahead and get into playing the game to be able to open up the latch. All right, so we got the correct answer, and it's going to tell us it's going to open the door.
Well done. You found Sam Hunt. Let me open this door for you.
And there it's open. I'm going to go ahead and take the battery out
Enjoy the poetry.
so it doesn't keep talking. But there it is, really nicely done. And now let me show you on the inside what it looks like. So everything just fits really nicely in here, and it's all wired just really, really nicely. I just really do appreciate this. I really want to thank DJW House for helping me with this, with the coding, and helping me with the design of the wiring and everything. Really does help. And Richard down in New Zealand, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to build this. I can't wait to see your reaction when you actually get it. There's still a few little tweaks that DJW House and I are going to be doing, just kind of get some calibration on some battery things and other little aspects of it, but it's pretty much done, and I'll put a door on it, of course. But hey, thank you for joining me. I hope you really enjoyed this build, and I know it's gone over a whole series, so I really hope you enjoyed it, of this smart cache build for Richard. I really do appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below, let me know what you thought. But hey, don't go anywhere. Go check out another one of these videos just right over here and find the story behind the cache.